Ladies and gentlemen, ever watched an action-packed cop movie and thought, wow, that's intense? Well, today we're stepping into the bloopers reel of real-life policing. Spoiler alert, it's less Die Hard and more Dumb and Dumber. Get ready to witness the finest of our boys in blue, who seem to have swapped their training manuals for comic books. From flashlight warriors trying to outshine the sun, to sergeants who probably think the First Amendment is a new dance move. Hold on to your hats, everyone. We're about to explore the not-so-bright side of the Force. The audacity of some cops. A man minding his own business, and then out of the blue, a cop with a touchy-feely problem. Our dear sergeant, probably inspired by some low-budget action movie, decides to get handsy with a civilian. I mean, come on, was he expecting the man to pull out a magic wand and shout, "Expelliarmus"? Or maybe he thought the man had a secret stash of donuts. Whatever his reasoning, it's clear that this sergeant missed the memo on personal boundaries.
Touch me.
You want to get placed
Don't.
under arrest?
For
That's
what?
Your next option.
For what?
Trespassing.
You don't need to touch
There's
me.
multiple signs.
You don't.
This
No, there is
enclosed
not.
property.
No,
Yes,
there is not.
And you just walk past me.
No, I
Come
didn't.
in.
Enter our hero, the calm and collected civilian, ready to give this cop a crash course in Law 101. With the patience of a saint, he begins to educate Mr. Touchy-Feely on the public nature of the building and parking lot. It's almost poetic, watching this man calmly lay down the law, while our dear sergeant probably wishes he hadn't skipped those law classes to attend How to Be Intimidating 101. I can just imagine him frantically flipping through his mental notes, trying to remember if he ever learned about public spaces. Spoiler, he didn't.
I'm not breaking the law.
So I can either
You
go to
broke
a
the
place-
law by touching me.
Absolutely not.
You broke the
I
law.
have-
But wait, there's a twist in our tale. Enter the female officer, the shining beacon of hope, the voice of reason amidst the chaos. It's like watching a kindergarten teacher try to calm down a toddler throwing a tantrum. Bless her heart. She's probably used to being the only adult in the room, especially when Mr. Touchy-Feely is around. While she may not have stolen the show, she certainly added a touch of sanity to the whole fiasco.
But he came here to make a report. They come in here. They would have no choice but to park right behind you, correct?
Well, they can park forever.
But just when you thought it was over, our touchy sergeant makes a grand return. Like a moth to a flame, he just can't stay away from being wrong. He's persistent, I'll give him that. But our hero, armed with knowledge and the First Amendment, is ready for round two. It's a showdown for the ages. The sergeant, in all his wisdom, probably thinks the First Amendment is a new burger joint down the street. Extra cheese, please. But our man stands his ground, reminding Mr. Touchy-Feely that he's performing a First Amendment protected activity. It's a beautiful sight, watching the sergeant's confusion as he tries to wrap his head around this new information. Maybe next time, he'll think twice before trying to flex his non-existent legal muscles.
Removing somebody that's
I
not
am.
committed
I
to
am
somewhere.
performing a
Okay.
First Amendment
You
protected
don't have to
activity.
be right here. I'm telling you this.
Sir, I
You're
can't
not
go.
allowed to be there.
Sir,
Here,
I've
yes.
researched.
There,
Sir,
no.
I've researched the law.
You
I
can
can't
research
go.
whatever
I
you like.
can't go behind your little
Okay.
restricted
You can-
areas.
And there you have it, a roller coaster of emotions, a clash of intellects, or lack thereof, and a lesson in the importance of knowing your rights. One thing's for sure, our touchy sergeant might want to consider a career change, perhaps a mime. He's got the touchy part down after all. Imagine this, a tranquil evening in the park, the soft glow of candles casting a gentle light on a man's face as he mourns a dear one. A moment of pure reflection, grief, and peace. But oh no, here comes Officer Buzzkill, probably thinking he's walked onto the set of a thriller. Armed with his trusty flashlight, he's all set to save the day from candles? Maybe he's convinced those flickering flames are a secret Morse code, signaling extraterrestrials for a grand takeover. Beware, the candlelight vigil is a trap, he must have thought. The drama, the intensity, the sheer absurdity. And let's not forget his valiant effort to protect the world from the dangerous glow of candlelight. Someone give this man an Oscar.
Go that route. Do you really want to go that route? The light is for my safety. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a criminal who's going to try to pull a gun out on me or a knife or anything like that. That's what the light's for, okay?
Our grieving gentleman, clearly not in the mood for a flashlight showdown, calmly declines the cop's demand for ID. but Mr. Flashlight is on a mission to see some identification. Perhaps in his universe, ID stands for I'm dominant. Or could it be incredibly diluted? Either way, our protagonist isn't budging. He's well versed in his rights and isn't about to let Mr. Flashlight's antics disrupt his solemn moment. The audacity of this officer, thinking a piece of plastic would validate a man's right to mourn in peace. It's almost poetic how the man stands his ground, using the power of knowledge against the blinding ignorance of the flashlight cop. Enter the voice of reason, a female officer. She's the beacon of sanity, the calm in this tempest, the only one with a functioning brain. She approaches with grace and understanding, trying to inject some logic into the scene. Finally, someone who didn't major in overreacting 101. It's almost as if she grasps that a man with candles in a park isn't a top-tier security threat. Groundbreaking, right?
Well, what's the plan here?
I'm gonna sit right here. Like I said, if you want the candles, if you want this lighter, if you want this bag, this is trash. You can go throw it away if you'd like to. You don't have to. I'll throw it away on my way out, but I'm not going anywhere.
But hold on, our flashlight fanatic isn't finished. In a desperate bid to assert his authority, he makes one last stand. His goal? Still unclear, but he's determined not to go down without a few more flashlight flicks. We can picture him returning home, standing proudly before his mirror, practicing his flashlight techniques and reassuring himself. I showed him. In the grand scheme of things, it's a classic tale. Man seeks solace in park, cop loses his marbles, and reason eventually wins the day. But the moral remains. Always be aware of your rights, and perhaps invest in some sunglasses, just in case of unexpected flashlight encounters. Because, as we've seen, some cops just can't resist the allure of a good flashlight drama. A serene day, a man with a mission to ensure justice is served right. But as fate would have it, he's greeted not with appreciation, but with the fiery temper of a female officer. Maybe she mistook her morning energy drink for a superhero potion, because she's on a whole different level of intensity. It's like she's auditioning for the lead role in Cops Gone Wild. Our man, however, isn't one to be easily intimidated. He stands firm, probably wondering if he accidentally walked into a cop-themed reality show.
I wasn't nowhere near you. Calm down, man. He's right next to you too. No one's gonna hurt you, okay? You got a partner here.
You can go ahead.
Come, relax. I know I can. I can do it right here. I can do it right here.
Just when you think things might escalate, there's a plot twist. Our protagonist, ever the calm force, asks for her badge number. And voila, she complies. It's like watching a cat suddenly turn into a purring kitten. Maybe she's a method actor, mastering the good cop, bad cop routine solo. We're on a roller coaster of emotions, and honestly, we didn't even buy a ticket for this wild ride.
What's your badge number?
819.
819, and your name?
Sergeant Grundman.
Sergeant.
Now here comes the redemption arc. The aggressive officer, perhaps having a moment of clarity, decides to switch gears. Gone is the fiery dragon, and in its place, a more reasonable human being. It's almost cinematic, this transformation. Did someone whisper action in the background, you might wonder? They engage in a conversation that's surprisingly civil. Maybe she realized that her Oscar-worthy performance was a tad too dramatic for a simple police stop.
I was right here. I didn't go anywhere past this car right here.
As you were walking up, I said, please back up.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get too close, man.
That's
Don't
all
worry.
I'm saying. We're dealing, obviously, with the situation.
I understand what you're dealing with.
We're actively doing an investigation.
As our story reaches its climax, the two unlikely protagonists part ways, proving that every tale doesn't need a villain. She hands over her card, possibly as a token of peace, or maybe it's her way of saying, let's not do this dance again. We can only hope she enrolled in a How to Chill 101 class afterward. And our hero, he exits the scene, probably thinking of penning down this roller coaster encounter. Because, let's be real, who would believe this tale without some evidence? In the grand tapestry of life, this encounter is but a small thread. Yet, it's a reminder that sometimes all you need is a bit of patience, a dash of courage, and a whole lot of humor to handle the most unexpected situations. And if you ever find yourself facing an overzealous cop, just remember, stay calm, know your rights, and maybe carry a camera. Because you never know when you'll stumble upon the next viral sensation. Well guys, what a wild ride we've been on. From flashlight fiascos to caffeine-fueled confrontations. It's been a masterclass in how not to be a cop. But hey, every cloud has a silver lining, and in this case, it's the sweet, sweet karma that followed. These officers might have started off thinking they were in a blockbuster action movie, but ended up in a comedy skit instead. And to our everyday heroes who stood their ground, we salute you. So, the next time you find yourself in a bizarre cop encounter, channel your inner protagonist and remember, always know your rights. And who knows, you might just end up teaching a cop a lesson they'll never forget.